My topic? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, uh, everyone, if you saw on Twitter yesterday after PNB Rock, that was yesterday, right? PNB
Yeah,
Rock
that was
passed away.
yesterday.
Okay, yeah. The
Yeah.
days kind of just go by. I have no idea what the fuck time is anymore. Um, but essentially, Akademiks posted a clip from his interview with PNB Rock that was coincidentally like last week, and people in his comments and posting on Twitter were saying like, you're only posting this because now he's like hot, whereas before like you weren't fucking with him. And also with, remember like Joe Budden and DJ Academic, or I mean sorry, Joe Budden and Adam22, they were pressing Adam about reposting clips of Kevin Samuels after he passed away. Um,
Yeah.
which I actually kind of don't like either. Like if you're reposting content, it's like the YouTube algorithm already does the job of recommending you shit from that creator, right?
I don't think so. Not to the level as if it was posted and new or reposted.
Okay.
So
Here's the
you
clip.
you were you
It's
were agreeing more so on what's his name's on Joe Budden's point, or
all right. Here's the clip, by the way. It says PNB Rock talks about how he almost got lined up and like, yeah. I don't look. I love Adam. I love Academics. I think there's gray area when you post about rappers who pass away or anyone who passes away, and obviously you have to be respectful. But you can't overexploit it. But at the same time, you're a media outlet where people want you to talk about it. So like it's I don't think it's necessarily bad to talk about things like that, right?
yeah. I mean, the thing is, I think those two situations are different in the case that is just what Adam did. He just reposted a clip that he was interviewing him with. It had
When
nothing
niggas
to do with him dying or whatever the case is. I think he just posted a clip. I forgot what it was. And he didn't make him look in a bad light or anything like that either. So I think it was ridiculous for Joe Budden to go at him for that, especially because I don't feel like Joe Budden's argument had a leg to stand on. I feel like it was a little bit kind of trying to absolve himself of being associated on the same level as Adam. Like, oh no, we're better over here. We don't do this. But the thing is, I don't know how people could be mad at Academics for this. One thing I could probably understand is they're like, oh, he got killed, and then you uploaded a clip. I don't know if it was before or after he died or got shot. That's
It
why.
was
Like
before,
oh, so he uploaded it before PNB Rock got shot.
but after no, after he got shot, before he died though.
Okay, I think that's important context. But on top of that, how are they saying he wasn't messing with PNB Rock if he gave him an interview the week before? Like the full interview had already dropped on Spotify, and he just puts clips of it up. I
I
didn't.
agree. I agree.
Would I have done it? I don't know. That's the question that I could answer. Probably not, because there's so many videos. Like I didn't talk about, like I didn't make a video when X died. I didn't did I make a video when Pop Smoke died? I don't think so. It's very, very few rappers that I actually made a video when they died. Because if I didn't feel like I had something significant to say or to add to the conversation, then I didn't feel like there was a point to it. But I do have an issue with people saying, oh, don't make money off it or don't talk about it, because dog, we get documentaries that come out about dead people, dead rappers, dead athletes. Nobody says anything. ESPN plays highlight reels when somebody dies. They're getting paid off of that. They're running ads on that. Nobody says anything. So I don't get the whole, oh, you can't post clips, because the clips are the highlight reel of that person, other than their music, obviously. Like, is Atlantic evil because now their song, PNB's biggest song that's on their, that they own, I should say, is being put as #1 on Apple Music playlists and Spotify playlists, nobody really is going to get at them for that. But that's just kind of like highlighting his legacy, so to speak.
Well, that's why I say there's a gray area, because I think that, media should just act accordingly like they normally do. But once you start over exploiting, such as in the example of Atlantic, once you start releasing like 3 or 4 posthumous albums, it's like, all right, we get it, chill. Like, now, once you get to the point where it's not moral, you're just doing it for the money, that's when it's fucked.
Posthumous albums I can get because it's unfinished work. The artist didn't approve of it, especially if it was, I feel like after the first one. I think it's different for Juice WRLD. I think that could be a whole different, like, long conversation. But for the majority of other artists, yeah, I agree about the posthumous albums. One thing that this actually made me think about a little bit more was people that get mad at those who recorded. Like, for example, there was a video of PNB Rock, and people that were upset at people that recorded it or posted it. And I think there's another side of that being, #1, people are like, oh, why would someone record this and that? Sure, like, some people, they're probably recording is not running through their mind. Some people, they're just like, hey, I want to record this. I don't think it's wrong for people to record it, even though I wouldn't, because #1, it could be evidence. Like, there could be things in that video that lead to the crime being solved. So if people don't record it or if people don't post it, then it's less likely to allow other people to comment on it that maybe were there. Perhaps posting it on social media is different. So they're like, hey, why would you post it on social media? If you recorded it, then you can forward it to police and give it to them. I could understand that take. I don't think there's anything wrong.
I think you cut out. But
no problem.
I think that the reason that people don't like that shit getting reposted is because, like, he's literally bleeding out, and, like, it's kind of disrespectful and kind of tragic and controversial. And some people literally, like, try and take that and post it everywhere for views. Like, people definitely in the media space, when somebody dies, it's like they're salivating at it, like, oh, like, it's time to shine,
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just one person I'm thinking of off the top of my head, and it's not even necessarily a hip hop channel, that, like, off rip was just ready to let something drop. Like,
Who?
Like the body was still hot when their video dropped on it. So I do agree that some people get, I'm not gonna name drop, but yeah, some people you're like, damn, like, you heard it, and the first thing you were like is like, yo, let me immediately.
Yeah, usually when that kind of shit happens, I, like, think to myself, one, I want to give it some time to marinate and think through. Like, I agree with you. I don't want to just report news and say, PNB Rock got shot and then he passed away. Like, I want to give, like, an actual message. So, like, what I kind of, like, was shitting on people who seek out gun violence or robbing people instead of getting a fucking job. Like, there's a much broader lesson to it than just, him.
No, I feel the same way. And the thing is, though, just because I don't feel comfortable doing something, or I don't feel like I should do something, I'm not going to put that on other people and say, oh, if they do it, then that means they're wrong. In terms of, like, making a video on certain topics or putting out certain stuff. Although I do think there's, like, tact to have, and a lot of people, they just say, oh, I wouldn't do this, so if somebody does this, they're bad. And I don't think that's the case. But with the gun thing, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think there's anything to be taught to people that
they're not listening
actually
anyway.
Do this crime. They're not trying to hear anything from anybody. They're not learning a damn thing. Because this is the thing that happened to me, like, when I was in LA the first time, and even sometimes when I'm still in LA or when I was in Miami, I thought to myself, like, thank God I didn't grow up in these cities, because there's just like being poor and growing up and seeing this amount of wealth, it's got to be frustrating. Like certain people, like it'll motivate them. Like, yeah, sure, it motivated me to want to improve and get there eventually. But if you are of the mentality, which a lot of people are, that like, yo, I'm screwed, or there's no hope for me, or these people are, if they're still in the mentality of, oh, these people were just born rich, or whatever the case may be, constantly having wealth flaunted in front of you when you can barely get by is really frustrating. And I'm like, yo, these people, how are they not furious that there's constantly people with ice on, there's constantly all these expensive ass cars driving around them all the time, and they're barely getting by. So I could see why people are like, yo, you think it's sweet, like coming around here with, it's disrespectful. And then you're coming into, especially if they're coming into the neighborhoods that are poor, I could see someone being upset. It is to a point. I could see why someone's like, yeah, you're basically spitting in our face.
I even get pissed. I'm not gonna lie. Like my girlfriend will say like, "Oh yeah, my stepdad just got my mom a G-Wagon." I'm like, "Fuck your stepdad." Like, why is he doing that shit and I can't have that? You know? It like makes me feel like less of a man.
And imagine if you had, and you're at a position where you don't really have to worry about a lot of stuff. So imagine if you have to be concerned with your living situation being trash, you having nothing, and you not even having hope for anything. Like, you don't go to school or anything like that. You're just like, okay, like, fuck this person. I'm taking that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like always your upbringing is so crucial. Not even necessarily like how much money you grew up with, but like how you were parented. So a lot of these situations likely occur. I mean, I don't know, but anecdotally, I feel like it's like people whose parents aren't doing a good job raising them to not go in the streets and fucking shoot people.
Yeah, but then you got like people like T.I.'s kid, like T.I.'s son or whatever. T.I. is ridiculously
Is he a gangbanger?
rich. Yeah, I think he got like arrested or something. And T.I.'s son's,
that's like a different situation though. I feel like a lot of rich people, like their kids, like, okay, so T.I. is like known as this like hard dude, pause, right? Like he was a gangster before becoming a rapper, or at least I think so. And so
that's kind of his music, yeah, like trap music, stuff like that.
Yeah, so when you are a kid of him and you see like your dad is seen as this, and you kind of like want to be seen as hard now, but you're really a rich kid. So I can see how that's frustrating in its own respect. Although it's a better situation, obviously, than like growing up poor as hell.
Yeah, I don't think it's frustrating enough to do crime though.
Right, but they like, I don't know what it is, but a lot of rich kids, since they already have everything, there's like no motivation to do anything for your own.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
less
especially if they had a lot of money.
in many scenarios, at least.